What's up, you guys? I hope you're very well. I hope you're having a very nice day. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about this project that we featured in the channel before. This is actually kind of an old video and kind of an old project, but I just recently revisited because if you remember last time we talked about this, or if you don't remember, about a year ago, I went to the beach and I was we were drinking a bottle of wine, and I noticed that the shape of the bottle was really cool, and also the glass was clear. So I thought this is the perfect container for a terrarium. So we were at the beach. We were at this place where we had a lot of macroalgae, and I thought, well, maybe this is uh, the perfect opportunity to create a little experiment of macroalgae in a closed environment. So I collected a little bit of sand, a couple of strands of macroalgae, as you can see there, and the rest is history. You can also see other videos where I created like a big aquarium with these. But on to the main point, I realized that just recently, just today, that the salinity is all wrong, and that's why maybe I experienced some of the problems um, with the previous tab. The problems that I faced with the other projects. Of course, there were other things as well that I didn't cover. For example, I added a coral, so that's not if you're just beginning, you got to let the aquarium mature a little bit then. So I had dino problems, dinoflagellate problems. So today I'm trying to go ahead and fix those problems to see if I get the hang of it, I get better results, and eventually I'm gonna try and get that macroalgae tank running once more. So this is just a bottle that I wanted to tell you, and the main problem is that the salinity was all wrong. In fact, let me just show you real quick. I'm just gonna open this bottle, and I got the hygrometer over here. Granted, this is not by any means like the perfect tool to do this, but I'm just gonna show you what I mean. Yeah. So here we go. This is the water level. Let me just place it here. This goes by specific gravity. So like I said, this is not like the best tool to do this. But look at the salinity over here. And I collected some salt water from the place where I collected the microalgae, and it was all the way up to 34 to 35. um, which is consistent with the information that I got online about the salinity in the Sea of Cortez, which is where I got these from. Yeah, so the salinity is all wrong. So I'm just going to put this water back in, and we're going to continue from there. One second. So that might have been one of the main reasons why the other projects failed, and why this little guy hasn't grown very much since that last time. Um, I put it in here. Still, it looks green, it looks alive, but the salinity is all wrong. So it's just a stunted grow kind of thing. One second. So on today's video, we're gonna do a little bit of an experiment with this little container, this little rock. We're gonna do another little closed environment, super super tiny closed environment, uh, new macroalgae, and we'll see what that looks like when it's finished. We'll fix the salinity. We'll keep it in a bright spot, getting natural sunlight, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, so this is the container I'm going to be using. I actually, I actually have put some of this microalgae in this container, but the salinity was all wrong, and I also started adding fertilizers to see if that would get like the microalgae to grow better, but it didn't, of course, And so if the salinity is all wrong, I guess that's a major problem. So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna fill it up to here with sand again. This is sand from the beach. You can use it. A lot of people like to use crushed corals. That's perfect because the beneficial bacteria for the tank is going to be more. You can also use sand, but it has to be live sand. It has to be sand without any stowaways, without any intruders that can start growing in your tank. So I'm going to be using the sand that I've got, because this is going to be such a tiny, tiny experiment, right? This is not the final thing. This is, in other words, the rehearsals for the rehearsals. So we'll see what happens. Okay. So I'm also going to be recording shorts. Um, well, one short video for YouTube. So if this video gets a little choppy, it's because of that. Okay, so bear with me. And before we continue, another thing, you will be really helping me out if you subscribe to the channel. If you want to see more videos like this, like the previous one, moss, terrariums, aquariums, and whatnot, subscribe to the channel. You will be really helping me out if you do. So let's continue. Okay, so here we go. So here we are. Um, I've already put a little bit of the sand in. I'm going to continue filling it up till we get about a couple of inches in. I think that's nice, but maybe a little bit more. And you see how chunky this sand is? That's exactly what we want. This isn't silica. Um, this is crushed corals, crushed stones. That's perfect. And of course, if you can buy like the live sand that you get at aquariums, that's excellent too. Because it's got all the bacteria and everything. So I'm actually going to use smaller stones, uh, just because I want maybe those two and maybe a smaller one. 1 second. Like this one. That's going to be perfect. So we put it here. I don't know about you, but it already looks good to me. you know. So yeah, the next step will be to mix the water with the salt. This is by absolutely no means the regular salt that you have in your pantry. This is aquarium salt as well. So it's got the minerals and it's got all the things that the fish in your aquarium and the plants in your aquarium needs. So I'm going to pause the video, show you a little bit of the process, but I'm also going to pause the video because I'm going to shoot the other shot for the shorts. Yeah, so here we go. So here we are. I've already added a couple of spoonfuls of salt, and we're almost there. I'm just going to add a pinch more to the water, and I think that's going to be it. Um, so let me just, we got the aquarium salt over here. I'm using such a small container that literally a glass of water will do. So this is sort of a micro project, yeah. But like I said, this is just an experiment. I'm sure there are other YouTube channels with better experiments, better equipment. But this channel, it's also like a low budget kind of a thing, you know, with the experiments and everything that we do. It's really a hobby, just starting with the salt meter or the hygrometer here. Okay, so there we are. You can see that it's right there in the 34, 35 almost. A little bit more, a little bit less. 35, you know? That's good. For my particular plants. Yeah, always research what works for you, what's the requirement for the plant or the aquarium, sorry, or the fish, the livestock that you want to keep. But for my specific purposes, this is the perfect salinity. Yeah, 34, 35, especially in winter months. 35, that's like a good measurement. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in very, very carefully. I'm just gonna use my fingers like so, and we're gonna fill it up. Yeah. There we go. Little by little. My hands are clean, by the way. That little bit more, and a little bit more. That's it. Yeah. So there we go. That's our base for the whole thing. Okay. I forgot to I forgot to shoot this for the short, but anyway, yeah. So let me just pause the video a little bit, and I'm going to show you what um, the macroalgae look like, the ones that I'll be using. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so here we are, and these are the little plants that I'm going to be using. Let me just. Mm, there we go. This was the first one. I'm only going to be using two species. Oh, and this one right here. I actually collected much more, and larger species in general. But these two, I think they go well in this little build. Yeah. So we got another little strand over here. Yeah. So that's what we'll be working with. Okay. So now the last thing that we got to do is just put this little guy over here. Let me just put it there and focus. And we just planned away. Yeah. I think I'm going to leave this one in particular just floating around. I'm not going to put them in the sand or anything because it doesn't seem to have any. Well, when I collected it, it was attached to the rock, but it doesn't seem to have any rise outs or anything. So who knows? I'm just going to put it in and maybe it will attach itself on its own to the little rocks. Yeah. So that's two, three, and four. Yeah. This is going to be a super short video. I don't know how. And a very important thing, we got to cover this. This is a metal cap. It's not the best, again, but you got to prevent evaporation. So it works for that purpose. You seal it tightly. That's it. And you got your little experiment. So I was going to say that this little guy um, is going to be sort of like a short video. I'm not sure how long it is already, but yeah, it's just an experiment. I hope you liked it. I'll keep you posted on this one. Um, I'll try to upload the video next week on how it's doing, but in general, I think it's going to do well. Okay, now that we fixed the salinity, I'm just going to place it in a well lit spot. I was thinking right next to the window like this. You see how it lights up, because the light right there is indirect, but it's really good. So um I'm thinking about putting it here, and yeah, next week we'll see what's going on with this little guy. Yeah. So anyway, I hope you liked the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you got any comments, doubts, questions, anything, drop them down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.